Welcome here to Hoskins. It's a little bit windy today. I just landed. I'm gonna be unloading my cargo here and heading across the island about 54 miles to a place I've never been before. Right, this is my loading for my next little bit of flight to head over there, and then a lot of this stuff actually is going on to another location over in Candrian. So let's get this stuff loaded after we get all this stuff out of here. Morning.
Yes.
300 low right side.
Uh-huh.
Now 280 low left side.
Please 280.
Yes, and now, thank you. Let's get started and get the air flowing first. There we go, 14%. We'll introduce our low idle. And yes, it says it's 39 degrees out. I don't think it's quite that hot, but it is currently warm. We have 1,440 pounds of fuel on board. It says it's 104 degrees in here, but I'm not quite sure if it's quite that warm, but it sure is warm. That is for sure. Whew. We have 292 kgs on board. Flip over to our weight and balance tab. We said we had 129 and then 97 of the second one. And the back, I've probably got about 30. Got those two seats in right here. One, there we go. Now we're at 332 loaded. Now we can go. Takeoff performance is 60 knots, rotate. Mooresby 8861, November Tango, Kilo, taxi.
November Tango, Kilo, Mooresby, go ahead.
November Tango, Kilo, taxi, Hoskins, Reno, 1 POB.
November Tango, Kilo, please no report traffic.
November Tango, Kilo. We are here out on West New Britain right now in Hoskins, and we're heading to the other side of the island, right down about there, where it's all kind of rainy looking. First thing I'm going to do today, I'm going to look at the satellite to see if there actually is rain. Satellite's not really showing that much. Does show some clouds out there. That's all I'm worried about. It's like a 30-minute flight at most. So, really not much to worry about. So let's go and try to figure out what it actually looks like. All stations Hoskins, November Tango Kilo. Taxi runway 12 for a departure to the east. All stations Hoskins, reporting traffic. Alright, instruments, let's do 20 degrees of flaps. Let's get our trims set up as we are taxiing out. Don't hear anybody yet. Get our strobes on. Runway clear, approaches clear. All stations Hoskins, November Tango Kilo. Back taxiing 12 Hoskins. I believe we're going up to 5,000 at most today. Not very high because, again, it's only 54 miles over there. All right, same aboard procedures as always. Is that a truck at the end of the runway working? I'll be well airborne before that, but oh, there we go. That's where we're going. You know what? He might be at the very, very end of the runway, but I'm going to be well airborne before that. I don't see it moving at all, so I would have thought he would have moved by now. All right, ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses, 35 degrees, 1520. Let's go. 1520. There's 60 and rotate. Ours a little bit, we got 6 knots of headwind. Looks like he's just parked at the very end of the runway. Or something is down there, I can't quite tell. Alright, TT back just a tiny bit, 740. We're over 400 feet, we'll go 10 degrees of flaps. There we go. Over 90 we'll go 0. And I filed for 5,000 feet, I believe. Let's head over here to nav, 5,000 feet. Back over to map. That will give me my times en route, things like that. We'll bring our ITT back to 720 just a little bit. We are sea level, so we can over torque it pretty easy at sea level. Moresby 8861, November Tango Kilo, departure.
November Tango Kilo, Moresby, go ahead.
November Tango Kilo departed Hoskins, time 59er. Tracking 117 on climb, not above 5,000. Estimating Reno 23.
November Tango Kilo, not about 5,000.
My guess is all those clouds, well, let's just take a look here. The highest range is around 4,528 feet according to this chart. I say according to this chart, well, we know we got a 5216. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to track, let me show you on this, it's a little bit easier to see. You can see that big green thing right there? That's the lowest terrain. So if I go straight on course, it's going to take me over the highest terrain as opposed to just making a 10-mile diversion. You can already see the clouds just drop off over here, and then I can still remain at my 5,000 feet. Because it is such a short flight, I don't want to go up to 7,000 feet for my minimum safe and then have to descend down through it. I'm kind of expecting a lot of clouds off of the coast because that's what I was seeing earlier, and unless some of those have bled off a bit. But this whole coastline, all these mountains here, all the clouds just come in and then pile up against all those mountains. So I'm expecting some low clouds. It wasn't too bad, I don't think. But again, I haven't been here, so I really don't know even what it looks like. Haven't seen, I mean, I looked it up on a satellite view, but that doesn't really give me much. Do vertical speed and altitude select on our autopilot. That way, once it reaches the 5,000 feet, it will go ahead and just level off on its own. I don't have to think about it. The less I have to do, the better. That way I can keep all my brain power for what's going on outside. I am seeing the coastline down there, or at least the ridge line, these mountain ridges here. So I am seeing something. I am seeing the coastline all the way down to that green area over there. So yeah, that's at least looking hopeful. Leveled off at 5,000, bring our torque all the way back down to 1270, and then it should settle on down at 1250. There we go. 2,000 on the prop. Adjust my rudder trim a little bit. Now, I don't have any drone pictures of this place today. I'd like to get some today if it is not raining. I'm not in terribly a big hurry because the weather out here is not getting worse as quickly as it was a little bit forecasting. And the reason I want to get some drone pictures is because I have a book and I'd love to even update it again with some more places that we go to, like this place, Reno. Check this out on my website. It's got all kinds of really cool places. One of my favorite places is Gasmata. It's just right over here. It's got some really cool World War II airplanes there. It's a Zero, and then this one is a Mitsubishi G3M2. Right on the coast as well, old World War II airstrip. I've got most of the locations that we fly to in this book. It has culture and some history about the thing, so I think you guys will enjoy it if you like history or you like aviation. While we are just sitting here, let's go over our arrival chart. Runway 08 and 26. It's right on the sea level. It's 0% slope, 1,380 meters long, pretty long. Crushed white limestone. I just made this chart up yesterday, even though I've never been here, just so I had something.
What do you want to say this more actually? Media position.
We'll just come in from this direction over here, enter 1,000 foot. Winds are coming from this direction. I'll probably be landing on runway 08 today. That's my guess. Now, looking ahead where I'm heading, it looks like heading down below this cloud layer is going to be my best option now. I'm seeing the coast over there, and I'm seeing a ridge right here. So I want to get down here underneath the clouds, and then I can come in underneath of them. Otherwise, what I'm going to have to do is do like an IMC descent through the clouds, over the ocean. I don't want to have to do that, but I don't have to. Winds are coming out of the east today at 15 knots over all these mountains, so that's what's pushing all the clouds in, but I'm going to expect a decent amount of some like turbulence, rollers, things like that as we come across these. Autopilot off for now. So on the forecast it was saying it was going to be kind of, when it shows like that kind of a little bit of aqua and blue mixed together with little lightning strikes that are just light gray, usually means kind of just rainy mist. Not really anything convective, not really building very much, not raining very hard, especially when it's not showing it on the radar itself, because it's very low to the ground, it's not really picking it up very much. I'm hoping that's not the case, but in my head that's kind of what I'm expecting once I get around this little mountain right here. We'll see. If you guys are flight simmers, because I know a lot of you guys are, and you want to start getting into flying in Papua New Guinea, recreating some of my flights that I've already done, because I mean this is just absolutely beautiful flying here for sure. I know Microsoft Flight Sim has some really good terrain maps, things like that. Check out my Patreon page. I've got, on the commercial tier, I've got probably 100 different flights just like this that are linked with the video, with the weather, what it was the day of, things like that, so you guys can fly the same routes that I get to fly and experience PNG for yourself. We're going to OBS runway 08. It's a nice line there, so as I'm coming in, if it is low clouds, if it is sprinkling, things like that, low visibility, then I can kind of gauge my eyes and calibrate them to what I'm seeing out ahead of me to try to find the runway right along the coast. I also put in 1,000 right here for our pattern altitude. Definitely low clouds and misty rain right here, that's for sure. Oh look, there's a village below me. Now that I'm past the rain, it looks like there's rain out on the water, but that looks to be like 15-20 miles out off of it. I'm not seeing it on the coastline right here, which is great, and I'm only 15 miles away, so looks like I'm starting to see that peninsula. It looks like we should not have a problem. That is good. Just never know in PNG, honestly. Like, you can have a good idea what to expect, but man, sometimes it's just so different than what you expect. Alright, I'm seeing the runway now, nice and clear, so that is good. What we'll do is, the winds are favoring 08. I'll fly up over top of it, enter into a left downwind. That way, if there's anybody on the runway, I can spot that before I just do a, 10 miles straight in final. All stations, Reno 127.1. And November Tango Kilo 10 miles to the west, 1800. We'll be overhead 24 Reno. I think it's pretty cool how the runway goes from like coastline to coastline. It's so close to the ocean. Before I came to Papua New Guinea, like one of my bucket list items, I don't really know why, was to land on a like bush strip that was like right on the ocean, and I think this is probably the closest it gets yet. Gosmata over here, it has one end of it going right up to the coast, but this one has both ends coming up to the coast, which I think is pretty cool. Definitely a bucket list item complete. Winds are coming a little bit more out of the northeast now, but once I get down to the tree line, it should probably be next to nothing down there. Oh, in that case, I'm not that heavy. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and land with the tailwind, because the parking bay is all the way down here at this end. That way I don't have to turn around on the runway back taxi. I'll just land and then come to the end. That'll be the easiest. I do not see any windsocks anywhere. We're below 138, 10 degrees of flaps. Up forward. That's pretty cool. Really well kept too. I wonder who made it. Looking for cones to identify if the end of the runway is the end of the runway, and it looks like it is. There's 90, we're slowing down to 80 on base. Full high, full flaps. All stations Reno, November Tango Kilo final.
500.
Checklist is complete. Not towing, not too bad. Won't go into reverse just because I don't want to throw anything up on my prop today. Wow, that sure is pretty though. Beta. There you go. The place for me as well. Thanks for joining, you guys. Well, if you want to see some more places, check out some other videos. If you want to see almost all the places I go to, go buy my book. See you guys next time.